This book was written by Ned Jensen, and we are reading a reader's book from this source, reading A to Z, razkids.com. All right. Okay. When you take a look at this picture, what reminds you? Dustin Hyungyun, if you were in New York City, would it be possible for you, me, to see these two twin buildings? No, we cannot see them. Why, Lowen? What happened to those two twin buildings? Yes, what happened to them?
They were destroyed
They were destroyed by
by some people.
some people, like some terrorist groups. Okay, and there were two crashes, right, onto the facades or sides of those buildings, and intentionally, right, the terrorists hijacked two commercial flights or two commercial planes on purpose to destroy those two twin buildings. Those two twin buildings represent the capitalism, okay? The U.S. capitalism, the U.S. imperialism. Am I right? Okay. Here, page 4. Page 4. The skyscrapers are tall buildings, are sometimes called skyscrapers, right? And when there were noises from everywhere, I mean, the noises from the sky and noises from the tall buildings, or in between the tall buildings, there were obviously many sources and noises in New York City, and people were not actually sensitive to the noises that were coming from those two airplanes, right? So page 4 and third paragraph. Can we read?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Then, as if out of nowhere, came the roar of jet engines overhead. The skyscraper-walled canyons of the city were used to loud to unusual sounds, but never one liked this. As pedestrians looked skyward, and they saw a large passenger jet flying unusually low and headed directly toward the World Trade Center. So people were actually used to loud unusual sounds. They were, because always New York streets were packed with pedestrians, packed with people like businessmen or bankers, bank tellers, like workers, or even like street vendors. So much was going on every single day, even before the 911 crash. So people did not actually pay much attention to the loud noise coming from the sky, right? They did not anticipate such tragedies, right? Okay, they're peaceful, actually. Like hustle and bustle. Hustle and bustle is a typical expression to describe the busy street with lots of pedestrians, lots of cars, lots of sources of noises there. And then that thing happened. The horrible thing. Page 5. My question is for Lowen. Would people who saw the first crash, right, to the World Trade Center, did they dare to imagine there would be another crash shortly after witnessing the first explosion? they saw the first crash. People were so scared of that. They were terrified. Woo! There was so many ahs and oohs, you know, shrieks, cries. And my question here, did they even imagine there would be another crash shortly after the first crash?
Maybe no.
Maybe no. Right? And what was the horrible thing that had happened to you? What was the horrible thing that you had not expected, but it happened to you, Rowan, in your life? Me, it was before I celebrate my 21st birthday. I was diagnosed of kidney disease. It was a serious one. And I never thought that I would be that sick. So I had to take pills for the next 5 years. Right? So did anything happen to you, Rowan? To you in your life, but you never had ever expected or imagined would happen?
COVID.
The COVID. It could happen to. He got COVID, I got COVID, you got COVID.
Yes.
So what was the general impression you had? What was when you had COVID, when you were told that you got infected by COVID-19? So what was your first thought that came across your mind?
At first, I was so happy because I don't have to go to school.
You were very happy that you didn't have to go to school.
But
Naive.
it began long time.
Okay.
It lasted.
It lasted longer than you thought.
Yes.
So you got bored.
Yes, and I can't go traveling,
No.
and oh
You were just stuck. You were stuck in the middle of your room.
yes.
You could not travel. You could not have any chance to interact with people, even with your own family members. You were
Yes.
not. Okay. So what was the thing that you into? You were like this thing during the period of your lockdown, your quarantine period. Quarantine period means that the period during which you are locked in your room, you're quarantined, you're isolated, not to spread the disease or viruses to other people. You're locked in your room. What was the thing that you constantly did? You did it over and over, on and on and on. What was that?
Using phone.
You were grabbing your phone,
Yes.
watching YouTube videos,
And Instagram.
Instagram. Okay. So if you were given a chance to choose either living with people forever or living alone forever, which do you want to choose? But you cannot choose the other side. Once you choose to live with the groups, then you have to do it. There is no such a time for you to have a tranquility, like a quiet time. You just hang out with those people forever until you die. But the other way around, you cannot choose to have any chance to meet other people. Just you're stuck in one place and forever. You don't talk to anybody. So you don't get stressed because of the people. You don't go to school. You don't do anything. But you can just do whatever you want. So which way do you want to choose?
Meet people.
Meet people and hang out with them. And what about you, Hyungyun? You're only given two choices. Living with a bunch of people who look like me, who act like me, who talk like me. Or you can choose to live alone. Forever. You choose to live alone. All right, here we go. It's okay. Everybody can have their own right to choose what they want. Okay. But they were not sensitive to the sounds because there are always sounds out there, noises out there. They were not particularly strange or odd. Understand? So you are surrounded by the people who kept talking to you. The noises are just one of those surroundings. Okay? You were just exposed to it, you were revealed, exposed to that source of noises, but you don't get to know exactly or sensitively enough to see what is happening, strangely happening around you, because you are so used to it. All right? But this time, the curiosity. Why curiosity? But the sounds were too loud, and the sounds are too long. All right? It's very strange. It was unusual sounds. And page 5, can we read the whole page? Ready? Go. America under attack. Curiosity soon changed to the astonished horror. And then disbelief as American Allies Flight 11 and carrying 87 passengers and crew members shot like an arrow into the upper floors of North Tower. 17 minutes later, second jet carrying 60 passengers and crew members, United Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the South Tower. Each crash was immediately followed by an enormous explosion as the jets, filled with fuel, erupted into gigantic fireballs. Yes. So how many in total? 87 plus 60. So 147. Okay? Too many people. All right, Lowen. It's really hard. It's horrible. It's terrifying for anybody to imagine that they were there. If they were there, what would you say to your parents or your family members? So you are, let's put it this way, you were one of those members, one of those people who were about to crash into the building. But you can see the distance between your flight and the building is getting shorter and shorter. At that very moment, you have a cell phone and you can send a text message to a single person, particularly one person. And who could that be? And what could write to?
Maybe mom.
Yeah, you're to your mom.
Or texting. Or text.
Her saying what? I will meet you up there. Or I'm sorry. Or thank you for being my mom. That's so sad.
Oh, bye.
Just saying goodbye. And you have left some cash under the bed.
Bye and sorry and I love you.
Okay.
And that's all.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay. And then what is the last thought that you want to have? Just shortly, you're going to die. You're going to die in you have 5 seconds. What is the last thought you wish to have? And you're going to die with that thought. And I believe Hyungyun is going to die with this thought that is about how freaked up his life is and yours. Oh, 18, boom. No? What is it? The last thought, the last image you will carry on after death.
Maybe just could think.
Yeah, you will have this thought, 생각, image. Maybe this image can be the one in which you and your family member having fun or having a party or traveling or the best food you ever had And that sort of thoughts can be the last thought that you have just before the crash. What is it? Me? The smell of coffee. Oh yeah, smell of coffee. Boom. Bye bye. That is it. You? It could be the smell. It could be the sound or song, or the one line from the Bible, or one thing that you heard from your mom. Things like that.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna circle back to you. Okay, first you, Hyungmin. What is this thought?
I want to go home.
You want to go home? Wow, that's philosophical. You're actually going home. But this time, the dead body. Maybe there's no body at all. Ashes. Maybe your teeth, bones, the hip bones. It's hard to be broken or hard to be burned. And you? He said, I'm going home.
I think, wow.
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 This is it. My life is going to be finished.
Yes.
And this kind of conversation is quite common amongst the members of book clubs. Book club members, they are actually offered the chances to talk about what ifs, always what ifs. What if you were one of them? What if you were gonna die? What if you were given a chance to travel alone? Things like that. Okay. Next page. And Hyungyun, those two twin towers, the World Trade Center, okay, were those two buildings the only victims of this crash, this terrorism? There were more. Can you name me? The Pentagon. Okay? The Pentagon. The center of U.S. force. U.S. Army. Okay? Yeah, page 6. Read it. Ready? Go. Not long after, as Americans were getting news of the Twin Tower tragedy, and reports came of another passenger jet crashing into the Pentagon, located across the Potomac River from Washington, D.C. The Pentagon, which houses offices of United States military, immediately caught fire. All 59 passengers and crew members aboard the plane were killed. Oh my gosh. The Pentagon. It's like a 국방성. Okay? That's horrible. You know what? I remember the day when this 911 happened. I was actually watching TV. It was in the middle of night. No, it was like almost 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. And this guy I work with called Jeff, he's American. Jeff, he called me like he was swearing, like saying bad word, 욕. What the? And said, David, did you really see that? Is this real? So I said, what? What's happening? Turn on the TV and watch these shitty things. And, okay, I will. All right, I'm on it. What is happening? I said, the terrorist dude, Chris, they crashed into the U.S., the symbols, Twin Towers, and the Pentagon. Destroyed. Things like that. I remember exactly. Okay. And quite similar phenomenon happened after the second and third crash in the United States. These phenomena is quite similar to that one that we experienced during the listening comprehension test for the Sunung. So what is this unusual phenomenon that we experienced on the Sunung day? The airplanes. we don't hear
Oh.
any airplane sounds, right? This is exactly happened. What happened? Okay? And page 7, read it. The United States was under attack. It was now clear that these planes had been hijacked and intentionally used as missiles to destroy the American landmarks. And no one knew yet how many planes had been hijacked. Perhaps others were still out there. And all planes in the air that morning were directed to land, while the international flights to the United States were rerouted to airports in Canada and Mexico. All air traffic other than military craft was grounded. The skies over the United States felt strangely silent. Okay, there are like thousands of airports probably in the United States, and no commercial flight were allowed to be on the route or in the air. Okay, out of the precaution, I guess, and only military aircraft was activating to protect the sky of the United States, and there were all the other airplanes were grounded. Hyungyun, what does that mean, grounded? Grounded has two underlying meaning. First of all, the word here, grounded, in this particular context is 착륙되어진. Okay? But people are grounded too. Hyungyun, have you ever experienced that you were grounded for what you did? You made a mistake where you did such a bad thing. And your mom said, you never leave this house. That's what your mom said to you. That's grounded. Rowan, have you ever been grounded? Like 외출 금지. Grounded. Actually I like that.
외출 금지요?
Yeah, that's grounded. 외출 금지. Your mom said, oh, you're grounded for a week. For 7 days, you're grounded.
I love it.
Huh?
I love grounded.
You love being grounded.
Yes.
But it's quite contradictory. I mean, 모순된다. Contradictory. You said you have to choose one of the two. I want to be around other people for the rest of my life, and you say I don't want to be alone.
Oh, but to choose whole my life in alone. That's horrible. But
For a certain period of time.
yes.
So you want to be grounded. Okay. How long can you be grounded?
A month.
A month?
Yes. If there food and
If there is enough provision. Provision means the food supply. There's enough food supply. There's enough food, like a money supply. Okay. What about you? I'm wondering, how long do you want to be grounded if you have to be? Hyungyun. You know, the problem of you guys lately, you lack imagination. It takes time. I give the question, so I'm expecting the answer to be returned to me, but it takes forever. Particularly that dude. So what if blah, blah, blah? I never thought about that. I never thought about it. Just think. Think creatively. Okay? Look at his face like, what do you expect me to do? Just stay here with you, and this room is the best I can do. See? Relax, dude. Relax. Come on. Okay, good. All right, let's finish page 7. The second paragraph. In fact, on one other plane, United Airlines Flight 983, and had been hijacked. You know what it means, hijack? 공중납치. And using cell phones, passengers aboard the plane, learned from the friends and relatives on the ground that 3 other hijacked planes had been flown into the Twin Towers and the Pentagons, and determined not to let their planes to be used as a weapon. Good. And the passengers and crew mounted a counterattack against the hijacker. In response, the hijackers rolled the planes over in 10:03, and they crashed into the ground outside of Shanksville in Pennsylvania. Many believe the hijackers' target was either the United States Capitol or the White House, both located in Washington, D.C. And the brave passengers and crew stopped that attack, but all 40 of them died. They sacrificed. The plane, any plane is supposed to go this way, right? Like a thrust, and then there's like three different forces: gravity, lift, and thrust, and friction. All 4 different forces. But anyway, the planes just go this way. It's supposed to fly that way, but they crashed upside down onto the ground, the Pennsylvania. Why? Because they were heading for the White House, where the president live, or the capital, U.S. Capitol, where congressmen and senators were gathering to make, decisions for the people of the United States. They were heading to 국회의사당, or they were heading to the 백악관. But their hijackers were under attack by the passengers, the innocent passengers. They sacrificed their lives to save the president, save the congressman. 국회의원 살리고 대통령 살리고. They sacrificed themselves. Horrible. And here, page 8. The Larry Homer Jr., hero of Flight 93. Leroy Homer Jr. was the first officer of United Arab Alliance Flight 93. Prior to working for United Airlines, he served 7 years on active duty in the U.S. Air Force, then rose to the rank of Major 소령 while serving in the Air Force Reserves, like a 예비역. Homer was 36 when Flight 93 was hijacked. He was among the crew that fought to keep the hijackers from reaching their planned destination. He was one of the several heroes who died when the plane crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. There is a movie. There's a movie. Exactly. The title of the movie goes like this: Flight 93. I watched that. So touching, so tragic, so inspiring. You should check this out. Okay?